And usually your aliveness is not logical because where does it live? It lives in the body, not the mind. So don't be shocked or surprised when it isn't logical and actually it's the opposite of logical.
Welcome to Wealth Embodied. Together, along with some amazing guests, we'll explore and tap into our innate abundance and have meaningful conversations about developing our ability to embody the vibration of wealth while also uncovering new ways to think, feel, and cultivate our relationship with money so we can live our lives wealthy and aligned. Let's welcome our host, Alara Sage.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Wealth Embodied, where we activate and inspire you in your wealth consciousness, your visionary genius, and your creative impact. That was all mixed up. Well, we're activating and inspiring you. So today is a solo episode, just you and me. I'm your host, Alara Sage, and I am the Wealth Oracle. And I am here to help people reconnect to and remember that we can create wealth as effortless as breathing. And what that really means, particularly in the realm of business and entrepreneurship. If you are a regular viewer, you may have noticed that I haven't done a solo episode in a little while. I'm on the fence of all of this with podcasting, because it takes a lot of time and effort. A lot goes into a podcast. And I recently opened up what's called a private podcast. It's just a Telegram channel on a messaging app where I bring in episodes there. And it's delightful because it's easy. There's no editing. I just jump on, I bring in a message whenever I feel inspired, and that's it. And I love that. I love the effortlessness of it. And I also love that it is very much in alignment with as inspiration appears. Because for me, my most alive moments are when I'm out in nature, and that's not here in front of the computer on my software recording a podcast. So, I'm just trying to decide if I want to just reduce the amount of solo episodes maybe I have on Wealth Embodied, because I now have this other channel, and just do primarily guest episodes here, or what I desire. So if you listen to Wealth Embodied and you gain a lot from it, I would love to hear from you. info@alarasage.com, because that's the other thing about podcasting is you're just casting it out there and you're not really connected to your listeners, which I don't really enjoy that at all. With the channel, they can comment on the episode, and I like that. I like hearing from you guys. So, this is like you're just out there talking, and you don't really know who's listening or how it's helping them. So, yeah, if this is something that you would like to see continue, please reach out. And I haven't decided to stop it yet. So until I stop it, it'll keep going. But today I wanted to talk about, well, you know what? I was going to talk about something, but I'm going to stick to kind of this conversation. And that is aliveness, right? Because in our businesses, one of the most important aspects of being an entrepreneur, from my perspective, is that you are lit up by your business, that you feel alive in what you're doing with your business and what you're creating. I see a lot of successful entrepreneurs who just maybe initially it was alive, and now it just feels like a grind. It feels like a have to. It feels like productivity. And where did the aliveness go? Where did the joy of the creative process go? So sometimes we have it and then we lose touch with it. Sometimes we don't ever have it. And from my perspective, this is one of the aspects of effortless wealth, because your creative energy, what's called your creative life force energy, is what we create our reality with. And it flows through us, it is most abundant when we are alive with our creations, when we are passionate about what we're doing and we are taking action on that passion. In all of humanity, there is a lot of pressure to do things certain ways, because somebody tells you you should, to do things certain ways because that's all you know. And we often push through and ignore whether or not something is truly lighting us up or not. When I work with clients and I ask them the question of what lights you up, most people don't actually know that answer. Even if they have quote unquote answers to the question, the truth is that what they answer is rarely, at least initially, their first few answers are not what actually lights them up. One of my superpowers is the ability to feel this in other people. Of course, I can feel it in myself as well. But when somebody says something, it is activated by their voice, and I can feel whether their creative life force energy literally lit up or not. So oftentimes when I ask the question of what lights you up in your business, they will say things and there's no light there. Or what lights you up in your life? Same thing. They'll say some things and I just keep asking, and we can get to that point where they find that aliveness. But I find it very curious. I find it very interesting, the disconnection that we have with our aliveness. And I absolutely was radically disconnected before I had my very first spontaneous awakening. I was completely numb. And life had this dullness to it. Even my most favorite activities were not enjoyed, really. And I had to open myself back up to what my aliveness was and is, and learn how to say yes to that, especially when the mind says otherwise, because the mind will. Right now in my business, I feel most aliveness in going for a walk out in nature. And the mind will say, you can't do that. You have a list of things that need to be accomplished. Sit down and do that. Well, now you've just snuffed out the light, the fire of your passion. You've snuffed out your creativity. It's not to say that we don't have things that just need to get done, because that's truth. And the absolute truth, in my personal opinion and my personal experience, and my experience both with my clients, is the more you grant yourself spaciousness for your aliveness, there will also be spaciousness for the things you just need to get done. Meaning there will be times where you feel inspired to get those things done. It feels good to accomplish them versus pushing yourself and forcing yourself to do things that you don't want to do. So the more that we're in our aliveness, the more that aliveness is in our life. The more that everything starts to feel alive, the more you begin to experience your reality through rose-colored glasses. And I'm all about experiencing my reality through rose-colored glasses. Why is that wrong? Or why is that deemed, delusional or wrong? The truth is you can have it all. You can absolutely have it all. And that starts with saying yes to what lights you up and saying no to all of the stories in your head that tell you you can't, you shouldn't, what are you thinking? Do this. I'm not saying it's easy. It takes consistent repetition. It takes consistent showing up and asking yourself, where is the aliveness right now in your business? What do you really want to do with your business right now? What do you really want to create in your business right now? And particularly when things start falling apart, or you reach a plateau, or what was working is no longer working, this is a wonderful invitation to reconnect to what you really desire and start creating that. because your business is literally telling you that it's dead in the water. The motor has stopped. The motor of creative life force energy, of passion, has stopped. And requiring you to reconnect to it. So if you're experiencing that, where your business is plateaued, it has stopped working the way that it did before, or perhaps it's crumbling like mine did, then I can absolutely assist you in reconnecting to that aliveness in your body, in your life, in your business. But to give you some pointers, it's always about the body. Aliveness lives in the body, not in the mind. You cannot find your aliveness in your mind. So it's about taking some nice deep breaths into your body, being fully present to your body, feeling, the weight of your body on whatever you're sitting on, really relax into the body, relax into the space, and ask what would feel really good to do right now? What would light you up to do right now? And go do that. And the more you do this, the more you will start to hear these signals, because when you haven't been listening, you stop speaking to yourself. Your body stops telling you where the aliveness is. What's the point? You're not listening to any of it. Why should it even speak? So you have to start saying yes. And usually your aliveness is not logical, because where does it live? It lives in the body, not the mind. So don't be shocked or surprised when it isn't logical. And actually, it's the opposite of logical. It's illogical in this moment. To do this right now, whatever that is illogical in this moment. Congratulations. Most likely, you have found your aliveness. Go do it. And every moment that you can, say yes to that, and your life will change. And there will be times when you can't access it because you're too much in your head. You've forgotten about your body, which is usually a triggered state of your nervous system. So you want to just first breathe into your belly and bring yourself back into a regulated state first, because you cannot even listen to the body when you're that far up in your head. Have you ever noticed that? It's hard to be present sometimes. Presence only exists in the body, not in the mind. So when our over-analytical overthinking is driving the wheel, we can't be present. So we have to learn how to shift ourselves into a regulated state, into rest and digest in the nervous system, so that you can relax and you can hear. And this is all part of wealth as effortless as breathing, because it always comes back to the breath. It begins and ends with the breath, just like life does. And so the breath is always our tool. And there are other aspects to how we truly create wealth as effortless as breathing. The truth is if you only focused on breathing, it would guide you there. Because if you were truly super devoted to the practice of your breath, it would bring you into that natural state of presence, and you would start to connect to your aliveness. That's what I love about the breath. It's always there. It's always free. It will always guide you if you just learn how to allow it to guide you. It's the ultimate tool, in my opinion. So be curious. Where is your aliveness right now in this moment? Where is your aliveness right now in life? Where is your aliveness right now in your business? And how can you say yes to that? To bring back that joy, to bring back that color, to bring back that creative energy, that spark, that passion. That's what we all want. We don't want just lots of money and a dull life, a gray, lifeless life that will not fulfill us. Aliveness is the ability to create that wealth and experience ecstasy, joy, bliss, and even orgasm in your business, non-sexually. That is very, very possible. Your creation, your experiences in your business can indeed be orgasmic. Now, who doesn't want that? Thank you so much for listening. As I said, please reach out if you are enjoying these sessions and you would like me to keep going. info@alarasage.com. As always, I love you so much. Until next time. Oh, and one last thing. I will continue, at least for now, with the guest episodes every Thursday. And I think for now, I'll do that. And then I'll fill in the solo episodes here and there. And you can also reach out for the other private podcasts if you would like. It's also on my website. Okay. Much love. Bye.
Thank you for being a part of Wealth Embodied. As you experience each new day, we want you to feel that you are capable of tapping into your innate abundance and living your life wealthy and aligned. If you want to be invited to the next episode, just subscribe to our podcast. And if you need more information in the meantime, go to alarasage.com.